Alright, so this video is to settle once and for all what is the best zodiac sign. Like, who's the absolute hands down best? We all see online people will post something about their sign, and everyone who's that sign will say, yeah, we're the best, and everyone who's not that sign will battle them and be like, no, we're the best. And you see that all the time. You see some generic meme and you're like, what? Where'd you even get that from? But anyway, first thing I want to say is, this is my first video for a platform other than, video just for myself. So I am still working with this camera thing in regards to lighting. So you're going to have to hopefully be a little patient with me while I get this lighting situated, and hopefully you keep watching. All right. So who is the best? And I'm going to tell you who's the best. Nobody. I'm not even going to say my sign's the best, and I really do like my sign. I'm not even going to say my sign's the best. I'm not going to say that, because the reality is we all need balance. And that's the beauty of birth charts. Your birth chart interpretation, you get to see the different signs and different aspects of your life. And when you see that, things make a little bit more sense. You could be a Cancer and you're really intuitive and perceptive of others' needs. But when it comes to getting work done, you get a lot done, and you're very active. You're very aggressive with getting things done. Maybe your Mars is in Aries, which would be a great placement for that. And so for people who are like, what does that even mean? I'm going to scale back. This is not an in-depth astrology video, and I'm only talking about really sun signs today, for the most part. So first things first, think about the elements, okay? The 4 elements: air, earth, water, fire, and how they're different, right? And how they all contribute something different. So you cannot say earth is better, no water is better, no air is better. But we all need these things in some capacity in our modern world, in ancient world, whatever. These things were all part of our world. Okay? Your earth signs, your Virgos, your Tauruses, your Capricorns, that practical level-headedness. When you think about your emotions, your feelings, you have those water signs, the Pisces, the Scorpio, the Cancers. Air, moving freely, and thoughts and things of that nature. You have your Geminis, your Aquariuses, and your Libras. When you think about fire and that passion, that action, you have those Aries, the Leos, the Sagittarius. But even within those elements, you have differences among the signs. There's differences between Libras and Aquariuses. There's difference between Virgo and Taurus, okay? And all the other ones. So that is super important to note. It might be all fun and games at first to talk about like who's the best, but it's like, listen, if you were all your sign, you would probably be the most horrible person in the world. Think about it, right? So like, let's say if a person had all fire in their chart, and I know some people are gonna be like, what is a birth chart? I will link below my blog, and you can get a little bit more information about what a birth chart entails. But let's say you're a Leo. You're a Leo sun. You're born August 19th, right? You're a Leo sun. Your moon, how you deal with your emotions, is Sagittarius. Let's say your rising sign, which is how people perceive you, is a Aries. And your Mars is in Aries. And your Mercury is in Sagittarius. And your Venus is in Leo. And your Jupiter is in Aries. And your Saturn is in Leo. That's a lot of fire. And some people do have more fire in their charts. But if a person has like mostly fire and that's it, well, you're probably not going to get a very level-headed person in any aspect of their life. They're probably going to be very impulsive, want attention a lot, want the focus on them a lot, right? Again, like, I'm not saying all fire signs are like that, but I'm saying you're basically taking only that one element and you're putting that in one person. And yes, Leos, Aries, and Sagittarius have differences, but that's a lot of fire. And you're also going to miss that emotional aspect. So this is probably going to be a person who's not really good with handling emotions. There's no balance there. So that's my point in that example of if someone's birth chart, once it's interpreted, showed all this fire and a lack of air. And if the lack of air means this is a person that's really not free moving. This is a person who probably can't just go with the flow. Okay, they're not really, someone in that regard. So that would be kind of bad, okay? Now, again, there are people who have dominant elements in their charts. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if it were all fire, come on now, okay? And one thing I really try to do with my, with just how I approach astrology, especially with people, is I want people to understand, like, even though signs are different, there's some some similarities. And I like to focus a lot on the interconnectedness between different signs. And recently on my Instagram, I posted how Aries and Virgo are very different signs. Okay, they're very different signs altogether, but I think they're both independent signs based on my experience and what I've just know. I feel like Virgo's independence comes from introspection, and it comes from a sense of self-awareness. Okay, so they can kind of be independent. They're not really afraid to be on loan because they need that time to think. Whereas Aries, is the first sign. They're the pioneers, the leaders, they're self-assured, and all of those things. So like that's where their independence comes from. So two different signs, two different ways to show independence, and two different reasons, but they still have that. So that's one thing I try to do is like, instead of like this whole battle of, who's better, I try to educate people. I want people to understand the differences and the thought process behind different signs. Okay? All right, so next, I wanted to talk about how quickly, with the battle of the signs, one thing that you'll notice, and there's different camps in astrology, right? You have people who don't care at all about astrology and think everybody's crazy and it's too generic and and they don't know how in depth it is, or maybe they don't care. You have another camp of people who they find it interesting. They really might not know a lot about it. They might just only know sun signs and that's it. And then you have people who are into astrology. Either they're studying astrology or they're astrologers themselves. And they understand that you're not just one sign. They understand that you could be a Virgo, but your moon is in Libra. Or you could be a Libra and your moon is in Gemini. Okay? And so those aspects will make that that Libra different than another Libra whose moon is in Capricorn. And that Virgo who has a different moon than another Virgo, there's going to be slight differences, right? And then you look at someone's birth chart, you understand how different aspects of their life are affected by planetary influences. So that's the third camp of people. Those are the people that are really into astrology. We understand the in-depth part of it. I'm not saying everybody has to be like that, but I'm saying that's why part of it is like I try to educate people instead of just like falling for this battle thing where I'm like, no, my sign's the best. No, I'm going to tell you about both signs and you determine from there. But different signs are different, and they have, obviously, right? But different signs have different usefulness and different pros and different cons. And so I think with that, one thing I wanted to say is one thing I notice a lot online, but I also think this is our society in general. It's this like obsession with being tough. Everybody wants to be tough and nobody can mess with me and I'm tough. And so what usually you'll see is like things such as like, my sign doesn't let anyone, run us over. Like we're great and we're tough and we're the best and and it's like, okay, but everybody can't be tough. And I don't mean there's not parts of our life where we might have to be tough, but I'm saying like if everybody wants to be the tough guy, we're ignoring the other signs that aren't as aggressive but can get things done. You're ignoring the fact that, okay, the Virgo might not be the most aggressive person, but the Virgo's aggressive when it comes to getting something done and working through a plan. They're really aggressive with getting work done. You might have a Cancer where people sometimes, oh, Cancers are so emotional. But I'm like, wait a minute. Cancers can be very perceptive. And they can really, some of them, the evolved Cancers can really connect well with other people. They like, people are drawn to them, some of them. And it's like, that's a really good quality to have, because that means that people are going to like you. People are going to be drawn, the people who are drawn to you, they're going to like you. Like this point blank period. Like they're going to like you. They're not going to view you as like confrontational or aggressive. And again, there's pros and cons to every sign, and I'm not talking about romance right now, any of that stuff, and people get all in their feelings. Like, I dated a Cancer once, and it was horrible. I'm not talking about that right now, okay? But, like, there are pros and cons to everything. Everybody can't be tough. Everybody can't be emotional. Everyone can't be level-headed. Everyone can't be a free thinker. Like, we need all of those things. And that's why I said when you actually get your birth chart interpreted, I suggest interpretation, because you can go online and something will spit out a report, but I'm telling you, when you actually have a person personally interpreting your chart using the knowledge that they have, using their intuition, or, you know, it's personalized. It's not, you know, you can have the same sign as somebody, you can have the same placement in an area, but you don't want someone to tell you the same exact thing they just told someone else. You want someone to work on your chart and be able to give you a unique interpretation, which is why I suggest getting your birth chart interpreted by somebody. Okay, so hopefully that helped a little bit with us understanding that there is no best sign. There are signs that are better at certain things than other signs, but we all have a place, we all have a purpose, and that is definitely something to keep in mind when we're having these little arguments online. I know it's all in fun, but once you realize that you're not just your sun sign, it just opens up a whole new world of understanding all of the astrological signs and how they fit into your personal life. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm below, I'm going to link my blog if you'd like to just check out some information regarding me, or you are someone who doesn't really know a lot about astrology and you just want to start with some basics. And that is it for now. Until next time, make sure that you subscribe below, and bye.